Know the difference with Annex Wealth Management? Tom Parks, Director of Retirement Plan Services at Annex Wealth Management, is back. Hey, Tom.
Hello, Danny.
Based on stats, workers are likely to change jobs several times during a career, probably more than several, right? There's a Pew Research study that estimates that 30% of American workers change jobs just in 2022 alone, most for higher pay. Here's the downside. Too many people cash out their entire 401k when they leave a job. Spoiler alert, it's a bad thing.
Suboptimal, Danny, as I like to say. You are correct about that.
Do you think it's as simple as workers leaving think they have to cash it out?
I don't know if it's that people feel like they have to so much as it is that they know that they can. You know, kind of like you said at the beginning, we've got people who change jobs more often than they used to. My first job, I was in there for 10 years, and I'm coming up on a decade here at Annex. So I haven't had as many opportunities, but I do think it's the easy thing to do, and so it's what people do.
Boy, but I don't know if they know, when you cash out a 401k, you get dinged.
Dinged, Danny. I don't know if that's the right word. This is more like a full-on collision. So, and it's with the tax man. You got to be careful understanding that when you withdraw money from your retirement account, especially when you do so before age 59 and a half, really before when you're thinking about retirement, you're looking at serious tax consequences that are kind of hard to figure out until kind of the year is over. So you're looking at penalties, income taxes, things like that. So a lot of times it ends up being a bigger hit than people anticipate.
Let's back up just a little bit. There was a study of over 162,000 U.S. employees who left jobs. They were covered by 28 different retirement plans. They left in a 3-year period that began with COVID. Were you shocked by those numbers?
I was blown away. 41% plus of the employees cashed out their 401k savings on their way out the door. And 85% of those took out the whole balance. That did surprise me, Danny.
In some cases, people lost their jobs, but that was less than 30%. So it wasn't the big number.
No, and that makes you think, okay, if less than 30% of them, it was due to losing their job altogether, then why did so many of them take the money out? And I think it goes back to we've all got things to spend money on, and it was an easy place to get some cash.
We're with Tom Parks, Director of Retirement Plan Services at Annex Wealth Management. Leaving a job, cashing out a 401k. During COVID, there were relaxed rules on withdrawals. Maybe that contributed to that?
It did for sure. And I understand why they did that. But when you consider all the tax credits, the student loan relief, all the other government help, the measures that they put out there to help people, I don't think that sacrificing the future was the right way to go. But again, Danny, I'm the 401k guy, so of course I'm going to say that.
So why do so many people cash out at a job change specifically, and then they undermine their retirement security? Why not roll that 401k balance to an IRA or a Roth IRA, or keep the money in their employer's plan? Those are options.
And I think with Secure 2.0, Danny, as you know, we continue to talk about that legislation, they are trying to make, they being the government, are trying to make it easier for people to continue to save that money long term. With technology, it is easier. So continuing to save is actually easier than taking the money out. It's just a matter of people understanding how to make that happen, whether it's a transition from one employer to the next or rolling it into an IRA. Obviously, all things that we spend a lot of time helping people with here at Annex.
I don't want to be the big brother or, put up guardrails or a lot of regulation, but maybe it shouldn't be that easy to cash out.
I don't think it should be. You understand why people do it. We all have limited budgets. Inflation isn't helping things, but we are going to need to have money in retirement, and people need to ask themselves, where is that going to come from? I think this is a cultural issue of just, you look at your phone, you click on something, and it shows up your house 3 hours later. That's kind of the culture that we have, and we need to be real careful about it, Danny.
Okay, so I'm an HR person and somebody has given me a resignation note. How motivated am I to warn them not to do this? And is it their responsibility?
That's a great question, Danny. I spend a lot of time working with HR departments, and they're strained. They've got a lot of stuff going on. So when someone leaves, I think there's a part of them, and these are all good people who really do take an interest in the people that they're helping. But it's like, I've got all these people who are still here who I need to help. How much time am I going to invest on somebody who just decided they're going to leave? So the mechanisms are in place with the advisor. That's obviously the role that we play. The people who are holding the money, whether, the record keeping custodian people, there are lots of people who are there to help. It's just a question of who's going to step forward and provide that help.
Yeah, so you've been with Annex for 10 years. You've been working with companies for that long. To hear this kind of stuff, it's got to break your heart just a little bit.
It does. Danny, I spent time living in South America, and part of what provoked me to be in this industry was seeing how hard people down there would work for years and years and years, have nothing to show for it. the opportunities that we have here in this country to create wealth just for even the average person are so fantastic that, yes, it does break my heart when we waste those opportunities. It's understandable why it happens, but I don't like to see it happen.
Before I let you go, maybe there's somebody brand new to the show. How can we help those company owners, those CFOs or HR professionals with employee benefits?
You know that education is a huge thing for us, Danny. We focus a lot on the education we provide to employees, but that also goes for employers. So helping people understand what are the options, how can you leverage the tools that you have with the provider you're currently with is a big part of what we do.
Tom Parks, Director of Retirement Plan Services, Annex Wealth Management. Thank you.
Thank you, Danny.